Hey guys, welcome back to Evony with Genghis on server 68. So, I wanted to talk a little bit, an observation a couple people made early on when Ascending Generals came out. And, oops, didn't want to do that. And some strategies that they said that they had. And I kind of just been thinking about this, and I feel like Evony kind of screwed up this Ascending General thing a lot in so many ways. So if you don't know what Ascending Generals are, they're basically red generals now that can be ascended. And Evony didn't think this through. So I think they have a little bit of a problem deciphering communication with players or understanding people's motives. So they seem to think that these big coiners or whales that they are referred to in the gaming industry, mobile gaming industry, people who spend a lot of money. They seem to think that these people like to spend money. Like, no, they like to spend money to have an advantage, obviously. But they don't just want to throw money at Evony. So Evony introduced all these Ascending Generals. But the problem is, or the mistake they made, they introduced it for non-elite generals, and they didn't give a clear path for Ascending Generals to actually get the fragments. So if you have people like William Marshall, Simeon, Leo III, Leonidas, Gaius Octavius, Philip, Lysander, all these guys, NASA, I think he's the one that was just in the top cake level. Where are you going to get these fragments? And so far, Evony's best option to help people out, I think it's in this package here. So yeah, so you get a glory chest, and it does tell you which generals are in here. You don't know if it's equal percentage for all, because it doesn't appear to be. For me, looking at this, I'm just going to assume Martinez and Roland they're awarded to the person the most because they have easier access, so they aren't as elite as the others. But players don't know those percentages. So when you go into the general fragments, you can clearly see percentages. Evony should be releasing this in every single thing they do. There should be no unknown lotteries. Everything should be there. But if we look in here, we can see other generals that are red in here, right? Ulysses Grant can now be ascended. And this is a daily fragment general that you have access to. He's also in the tavern. Martinez can be ascended. He's also in the tavern. So easy access to these guys. So if you're one of these right here, JJ, George Dewey, can be ascended. If you're one of these players who, especially new players, because old players might luck out. Like if I go to my general rankings on my server, you'll see some Martinez's up here. So right here, this player is about 2.5 years old, her account, and she has a Martinez rather than Lysander or someone like that. So some people might have lucked out and got some of those. Minimag as a Hannibal, he cannot be ascended yet, but people are pretty sure he's going to be added to that list. But Tamiris, how are you going to get her fragments? I have her, and I'm like, okay, well, let's see what happens. But I don't know how I'm going to get her fragments ever. I'm just assuming that I'm going to have a 5-star general, but the problem is going to be you're going to have a lot of players who are free to play or low coiners, and they're going to have Electra. And they can ascend her easily because she comes in the relics. You can get her fragments but just by doing relics, so you can advance her. It might take a while, but you'll get to advance her at least. Evony really messed this stuff up. I think they're going to eventually face a revolt from players, from big coiners who are going to want some access. I did a video a while ago, and there was fragments available in the tavern on early servers. You could buy Scipio fragments. You could buy Elise fragments. And that's apparently been removed. So maybe that was kind of a preview of what they're going to do to allow it. But it's expensive. Like if you if you sell one general, right here, I'll try and get someone who's not assigned a duty right now. Let's go down. Alexander, you have an option to dismiss for 30 fragments, but that only gets you 1 star. The next star is going to be more than 1 general. And I think in total, it's over 10 generals you're going to need to ascend. It might even be way more than that to get to the final 10th star. So you're going to have to get 10 Elises in order to get her up there. That is going to be impossible. So right now, everyone wants Blood of Heirs. Evony's selling it in packs. They're making it available in server war. But that's fine for 1 level. Some people might have 2 or 3 Scipios, but they don't have 10 or 20. So it's going to make it very difficult. And eventually, people, like I said, people are just going to be sitting on tons and tons of Blood of Heirs and never going to be able to ascend their generals. So I think Evony is going to start to get a lot of backlash from the coiners. I hope that they actually do fight back. I hope that they stop spending until Evony corrects this. I hope they just stop spending in general so Evony stops all this madness of pay to play, not pay to win anymore. I have a mixture of generals. So I have some difficult ones that I can't see anyway I'll ever get their fragments. Like Elise, Tomiris. I see no way I ever get them to 10 stars. The sucky thing for me was I had Minamoto. I was not doing his specialties. I was waiting and waiting for a better general. And then I got Tomiris. So I started. And then the very next day, I got Electra. And actually, if I would have got Electra first, I would have done her. Because her individual skills are better, but Tomiris has slightly better rally skills. Or no, she has the rally cap increase ability, but at the expense of slightly less regular skills. But she's fine. Both 5-star. I would still rather have Tomiris. But the fact that Electra has a clear path to 10 stars... she was actually the example I heard from one of the bigger players in my alliance. Right away, he said, well, guess I'm switching to Electra because I'm never going to get Tomiris fragments. So, yeah. I'm not the only one who's thought this. Big coiners have thought this right away. Let's take a look at some of the other ones that can be ascended. So these two, Ulysses Grant was the best siege general in the game until Serena and Philip came along. So, hey, you get the 3rd best siege general in the game, and you can ascend him. Hell of a deal. JJ went from all of a sudden, he kind of dropped to like 3rd or 4th or 5th best wall general when they introduced some new ones like Leo and William Marshall. But now he's shot right back up to number 1 because he has a clear path to being ascended. So he may not be the best at full power, but he's going to be the easiest to get the full power, and he's going to be better than almost everybody else's general who is full. Oda, she's good, but where are you going to get her? I know one guy who has 4 of her, but going to need more than that to get her all the way up. Guan Yu, I have him. I see no reason why Evony can't make red fragments. You can use them. So, like, why can't I use Guan Yu's skills on Elise? They're very comparable. They're both have the same value. They should make something like that, some sort of exchange center. And then in others, this is the last one here, the last column. So Martinez, very good general and easy access. Electra, very good, easy access. We all think Hannibal's going to be awakened soon, which would be excellent for many people. Ramses, where are you going to get his fragments? Elise, Nar, Thutmos, like Serena. So I actually have 2 Serenas. So I will awaken him to 6 stars, and then I'm out of luck. And I have, as I've said in another video, I have this guy who's probably 4th or 5th best. He's not awakened yet, but I'm sitting on 3 backups of him. And I'm just sitting and waiting, and I guess I could probably get him up to 7 or 8 stars. So you need 2 siege generals when you're in late game. You need one for big siege and one for little siege. And the reason why you need 2 is because little siege, it's better to use the whole numbers on your weapons because they'll multiply higher on T11 and down. And big siege, when you're using the 13, 14, 15, it's better to have percentages. So you need 2. So hey, I'm going to have 2 siege generals. They're both very good. I'm happy with it. But it sucks that I can't get the better one to 10 stars. So anyways, let me know your thoughts on this. I have a feeling Evony's going to have to make a correction to this system. I just hope they make a correction that is actually nice for people, free. Put the fragments in the market, or have some sort of exchange, or some sort of equalization program where you could just say, hey, I got 30 red fragments. I can use them on any general, or maybe they turn into 25 anything general fragments that I could use on any. So I'd like it to be something like that. What I don't hope is that they say pay $100 and get any general you want, something like that. That would still be better than the system they're using, but I think it still freezes out a lot of the player base. But at least it would be something with a clear path. And I think that's what Evony wanted to do with the Ascending Generals, was to give elite players another option to be even more elite versus the regular Joe. So at least they would accomplish the goal. But I don't see many elite players just spending $100 over and over and over and over praying that they get those 30 fragments they need to level up their general, because you don't even know the percentages that are in those epic packs. So anyways, let me know your thoughts on this. Did Evony just want to make this extremely difficult and they don't actually want many people to get 10 stars? Or did they not? Is this an oversight that they failed to realize people don't actually want to just give away their money for nothing? And they're going to have to correct this. Let me know in the comments. Shalon's coming up tomorrow. I may try and live stream. So I may do a practice live stream ahead of time if you see that pop up. The difficulty for me is the line call cuts out for our alliance communication when I put up a video, so I'm going to have to use 2 different phones and it'll have no access to our line call. I'll have that on a headset, but then I'll still be able to communicate on the phone speaker to anyone who's in there watching and asking questions, comments, that sort of stuff. So I'm going to do a practice run just to see how that goes. So this is Genghis, Server 68. Like, subscribe, leave a comment.